Welcome to What the Flick, everybody. Ben Mankiewicz, Alonso Duralde, Jonathan Kim, the Green Hornet, Seth Rogen, Chou, and then a pretty good supporting cast, too. Jonathan, you're a bit of a comic book geek. You can smile at that.
Yeah.
Take that very seriously.
Own it.
Yeah, own it, exactly. Set up the Green Hornet for us.
The Green Hornet, which is based on the radio show that started in the 1930s, serialized in film, and then made into the 1960s TV show, which introduced the world to Bruce Lee and made him an international star.
What now?
Now being done in 3D to some mixed results.
Yes.
Today's top story, newspaper mogul James Reid was found dead, leaving his son in charge of his media empire.
Sorry to hear about your father.
Hey, Kato, you knew my dad pretty well, right? Now that he's gone, I'm thinking I haven't done anything good my whole life. I'm not sure what I should do.
Wanna see something cool?
Whoa! You did that? We've been completely wasting our potential. This city needs our help. We could be heroes.
In the intro, Jonathan, you talked about the 3D. I think we should get that out of the way. I saw it in IMAX, kind of, and 3D. What did you think of the 3D?
Well, the thing that bothered me was that you can tell that the movie is beautifully shot.
Let me interrupt. The 3D blew.
No, I'm going to disagree with you on this one. And I'm not a 3D defender, generally speaking, but I think Michel Gondry does some cool shit with it.
Yeah.
There's a sequence where there's.
Did you hear me say that it blew?
Yeah, I know. And
Were you not paying attention to that part?
You're making me stand up for 3D, which is like despicable. But here it goes. There's that. If only for that sequence where the screen splits into 8 pieces and the pieces like go forwards and backwards and aren't on the same flat plane. I was like, wow, Michel Gondry has done something new and interesting in 3D. And even just in the regular sort of actiony parts, I thought it was fine. I with the exception of Avatar, I can't think of a movie where it's been indispensable. But compared to Clash of the Titans and Alice in Wonderland, it looked great.
I thought it was worse than Clash of the Titans. And Clash of the Titans. And I think it would have looked great in. I mean, I think he did do a lot of cool stuff. I think it would have looked great in 2D. I guess I want to see it again in 2D. It's just like I had every scene outdoors with sunlight seemed really distorted to me. Like I found myself doing a lot of this.
There were some aerial shots where like they're flying over trees and you see this little like stuttering and skipping like amongst the trees.
I really.
Maybe I have crap eyesight. I didn't pick up on the details. I thought it looked fine, and it
wasn't shot in 3D.
It was not. It was post converted. Yeah. But I as far as the post conversion movies that I've seen, so like not the cartoons and not stuff that's actually filmed in 3D, I thought it looked pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was decent. I still find 3D distracting in general, but that just might be a personal thing. I don't think it's going to ruin many people's experience, except for yours. But.
Yeah, I didn't. I thought the outside stuff looked, some of the action sequences were all right, but like the funeral for Tom Wilkinson, I don't want to give it, he dies. Well, you mentioned
it's in the trailer.
There is still sort of that cardboard cutout feel when the movie is converted, where it just feels like a flat thing is in front as opposed to a three-dimensional
there weren't any
thing.
moments like in Clash of the Titans where, Liam Neeson's face is floating in front of his head and then his hair is on a whole other little plane. There's nothing remotely that bad in this movie.
I may have misspoken about saying it was worse than Clash of the Titans, but there were moments when it reminded me of how bad Clash of the Titans was. I don't know. There were just part of that bothered me. But now, separate from the quality of the film, let me just do a brief, separate from the review, a tiny rant. Permission?
Jeremiah.
Okay.
Go for it.
I missed the screenings of this movie because I was playing softball, like a good critic. And so I went last night with our producer director Andrew to the 12:01 screening on Friday night when it opened, Friday morning. And so I went to the IMAX screening, but it's not an IMAX screening, it's just a theater. They just say it's IMAX, but it doesn't. There's nothing different about it.
Name names.
The AMC Theater.
Yes.
There's nothing
Santa
IMAX-y
Monica.
about it. No, in Century City.
All the AMC IMAXs. Okay, I'm not going to say all of them because maybe there's one that isn't. But for the most part, all AMC IMAXs are mini IMAX.
But I mean, they're just maxi theaters. There's
Yeah.
nothing. There's like, what is there? 4 inches more?
They
8 inches
they
more?
are not anywhere near like the old, like if you went to the Science Museum or you go to City Walk or somewhere like that and see like an honest to God IMAX.
So I see it. You see it in 3D, which I think blew, as we've already established, and then this fake IMAX.
Yeah.
It cost $19.50. $19.50. Who pays $20 for a frickin' movie where the 3D isn't good and the IMAX is just a lie? It's just a flat out lie.
Yeah,
what does your friend say?
Limax is my
Limax!
friend calls it. And yeah, and this is the new Hollywood paradigm. Like we can make these sort of not great movies make more money because a family of 5 now has to pay $100 to see Alpha and Omega or the Nutcracker in 3D or some shite like that. And yeah, it's a rook. And the IMAX on top is worse.
It is so outrageous. I've decided not to have a family. Look what it's done.
Thanks 3D.
It's somewhat of a drastic move, but not unjustifiable.
Right, totally. So I mean, I get it that's separate from the artistic endeavor, the artistic quality of the film, which
Michel Gondry did not make AMC put in the fake IMAX.
No,
screen.
but I
Let's
mean
be very clear about
but
that.
that's wrong. It's wrong.
Yeah,
You can't be paying $19.50 for that. Anyway, I thought it was pretty funny. I mean, and unexpectedly. Funny.
It's a smart movie. I mean, it was written by Seth Rogen and Evan
Yeah.
Goldberg, who did Superbad and Pineapple Express.
Friends from
childhood, and it has that same kind of like bromancy, like heterosexual panic undertone that those other movies have. But it's also a superhero movie at the same time. So there's a lot of it's operating on a lot of different levels. It goes to places that you aren't expecting, the villain to be self-conscious and have an inferiority complex. You aren't expecting a superhero who doesn't really know what he's doing and who the sidekick is doing all the heavy lifting. It's new and it's different and it's funny and it's really entertaining, I think.
It has the same sort of dynamic, not dynamic, it has the same feel in the nature of the superhero as Iron Man. It's a very different kind of movie, but I had the same sort of takeaway as a superhero. It felt like a grounded superhero, which I like a lot more than I liked Iron Man a lot more than Batman. It's a superhero that was identifiable.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing that's great about this that we haven't seen in a superhero movie yet is that it's a guy, I mean, definitely of no abilities. We've seen that Iron Man is technically that because he's just a regular person, but also of like sub-average intelligence and also sub-average physical abilities, yet thinks that he's the hero. And whereas Kato is actually practically a superhero. I mean, he's like Tony Stark, but doesn't have the money, has to do it like with borrowed money, which I thought was really interesting. And then also the fact that we haven't yet seen a superhero movie that focuses on a duo. Of 2 people kind of, a crime-fighting duo becoming superheroes and then trying to sort out who is the hero and who's the sidekick, where one Seth Rogen should clearly be the sidekick. He can't even drive the car.
No, it's a little racist.
Yes, exactly. This tyranny of Asians.
He's playing an entitled, millionaire guy. So of course he thinks he's in charge.
I mean, it's...
But no, I totally get you. In fact, I was reminded more than once actually of the 1970s cartoon Hong Kong Phooey.
No, sure.
Where the dog thinks he's the hero, but it's actually the cat who's doing everything and making things work. Or you could say, if you want to get snooty about it, it's like Jeeves and Wooster.
That means
we're going British.
The PG Wodehouse, where Bertie Jeeves is this like rich dipshit, and Jeeves is the smart butler who gets him out of all of his scrapes.
The phrase "rich dipshit" is awesome.
Which Rogen is playing here too.
Together they're like Tony Stark.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And I love the fact that there's a love interest.
Which I realize is your point. I'm not stealing it.
Right. I love that there's a love interest in this movie who's not interested in either of the men. Like Cameron Diaz could not be bothered with either of them. So really, it's like I said, it's a bromance.
And we're not going to give away who it is. There's a really nice cameo in the beginning.
Yep.
Okay, I don't
Isn't
remember,
there?
but
see, that's how nice the cameo is in the beginning.
Yes, okay, right, yes.
And Christoph Waltz is, it's from Inglourious Bastards, is as you mentioned, the villain. That gives it a little.
And he's doing that scary, funny thing that
Yeah.
he did in Inglourious Bastards. He really knows how to ride that line of, you don't you fear the character, but he's still funny. Like
very appealing.
He never dips over too far in either direction.
Yeah.
And I think in terms, I mean, I feel like I need to bring up the fact that there is an Asian co-star in a mega budget American movie. At least was not lost on me. Like you almost never see that. But what's interesting, I mean, the movie it's a buddy movie. I mean, we were talking, and so they share screen time. Yeah. Basically, and you kind of root for Kato in a lot of ways to sort of get the due that he deserves. But also,
I was actually when before we knew that Cameron Diaz wasn't interested in either of them, you're pulling for Jay Chou to get Cameron Diaz.
And also another incredibly rare thing is to see an Asian man as a potential
love interest.
Yeah, love interest
for a white woman even.
Yeah, I mean, in my life, I think I've seen 3 Asian guys kiss a non-Asian woman in a movie. In 30 plus years of watching movies.
When is there going to be a good-looking white guy get an Asian woman? That
no one
never
Yeah, we're starving for that.
Maybe one day. All right, let's get some ratings, Jonathan.
I think it's going to get good word of mouth amongst its key audience and hopefully go on to sequels. I gave it an 8.2.
Wow, you really liked it.
I did.
Yeah, I go solid 8 on this one. I love the performances. Jay Chou is a star. And I want there to be sequels. I want to see what else they can do with these characters. Despite the fact that it is a big budget movie dumped in January, it's a good movie. It's funny. It's subversive in a lot of ways as far as this sort of genre goes. And it's smart. It's good. I liked it.
So you gave it an 8? Is that right?
Total 8. Yeah.
You guys need to calm down. But it was engaging, and you know what? Because I'm weak of spirit and mind. You guys pulled me up a little just during the conversation. So I'm pulling myself up to a 6, which means I had to do a little quick math while you guys were talking. So that pulls the overall rating to a 7.4. I think. So it's a solid What the Flick recommendation for the Green Hornet. So go check it out.
He's my man.
I'm not your man.
He's not my man. We're just platonic friends. Yes.